My hands smell like tacos. That was a really good dinner. Oh, good evening, YouTube, and welcome back to another episode here at WILDMAN Lifts. I'm your host, WILDMAN. For this workout, I was able to take last year's PR for deadlift on the wagon wheels and do it for repetitions. How many repetitions did I do? Let's go find out. Alrighty, so for today's giant set, I was first going to start off with a priming movement. So this is just to make sure my body's getting warm. So I was going to do a stone over shoulder with a very light stone. And then the strength focus today was going to be the wagon wheel deadlifts. And the goal was to hit this for as many reps as possible as last year's PR with this implement. And that was the goal for today. But I wanted to make sure that I was perfectly warm by the time that happened so I could reduce the injuries. So I was doing what's called bar-facing burpees. And this just means you're doing a burpee, and instead of jumping straight up in the air, you're jumping over the bar. And that adds an extra element of toughness to this. So that's what I like to do to get my conditioning going. And I was also doing a 100-meter shuttle run where I'd run back and forth like this 3 times, and it's 100 meters total. And that would be the giant set for the day. So I was going to do all 3 of these movements in conjunction with my strength focus, which would be the wagon wheel deadlifts. Now, a lot of people give this a lot of grief, the wagon wheels. They say, well, it's not a real deadlift, it doesn't help, it doesn't train anything. And I couldn't disagree with anybody any more than I possibly could. The wagon wheel deadlifts is a good variation deadlift to do to get better at deadlifts. You are right at that sticky point. Since the wagon wheels raise the plates a few inches off the ground, you're right at the sticky point where a lot of people miss deadlifts. It's, right around the knee area. So this is teaching you with the bar at that sticking point how to really recruit a lot of muscle and to be a little bit more upright so that you're able to pull heavier weight. And it's a great training tool. Plus, strongman actually do wagon wheel deadlifts in their strongman events. And I don't know if you've paid attention to CrossFit lately, but CrossFit has also been doing a lot of strongman movements recently. Since the Rogue Invitational's been around, they've invited strongman and CrossFitters to join in the same venue with different competitions. And I've noticed that the strongman movements are actually being used into the CrossFit movements as well. So CrossFitters are actually starting to get into more of the strongman implements. So as a result, I have a feeling that strongman movements such as wagon wheel deadlifts or the wagon wheel continental clean and press and other things that strongmen do are going to be gaining some more popularity, because now you're getting 2 strength sports that are actually starting to do it. And the more people see it, the more people want to try it and want to get into it, realize it's fun, and then it becomes their passion. Now, this weight kind of made me nervous because it moves so slow. As I lifted it, I thought it was going to go up a lot faster, and I was like, oh no, that was really, really slow. And I always hate this when it happens in one of my workouts where something was supposed to move a lot faster than it was supposed to, and it didn't. Because then I'm like, oh no, am I not going to be able to hit my top set? And then it would bug me if I didn't hit my top set. I knew I could hit my top set for 1 at least, but I wasn't looking to tie last year's PR. I want to do it for reps. So this is last year's PR, which is 475 pounds. And the goal was to hit this for 3 repetitions. But I had gotten my mind right, so this moved a lot better. And it made me a lot more comfortable to grind out 2 more reps after that for 3 reps total. And so I did it. And I was very, very happy with that, very relieved, and am satisfied that my training is still going in the right direction. I have deadlift goals that I want to hit by the end of the year. And part of that journey was hitting last year's PR for more reps. So really I would have been happy with just 2 reps, but the goal was 3 because I felt like I had it in me. So since I hit 3, I knew that I was right on track and ahead of the curve. Now my variation giant set was going to be in strongman format, where I pick up this 156-pound stone and then place it on top of my tire castle, take my hands off, and then roll it down. And I was going to continue to do my 3 bar-facing burpees because I was trying to do 10 rounds total with the strength and variation. So by the time I was done, I would have done 30 bar-facing burpees and 1,000 meters of running. And that is great conditioning right there. Now, my central nervous system had taken a punch from all those heavy deadlifts. So as a result, normally I can do what's called one motion with the stone, where I can row it to my chest and just place it onto the platform without having to get it on my lap and get it set. But because my central nervous system was so fatigued from the heavy deadlifts, I was actually moving a lot slower, which is what I wanted. I chose a lighter stone for that reason, and I was just working on transitioning quickly from lap to platform. And that seemed to work out pretty well. And I was trying to tucker myself out by doing all of these conditioning movements in between so that I'm training not just in strength, but I'm also training my work capacity when my body and my central nervous system is fatigued. And I've been doing this forever, and that's why it's built to this point. Now, before I start my assistance giant set, this is why I love training with the wagon wheels. Look how easy it is to get all those weights off the bar. This is why I get excited when I have wagon wheels in my training program for the day. It's for that reason alone. Now, I like to use stuff that's already out here, so I decided to do English curls with the wagon wheels. And the reason why I call them English curls is because you're using a little body English as you do this. And mainly because I do my isolation biceps on my squat day. So this is more just getting my body involved. So when I lift heavy stones, it's not a problem. And this is called hitchhikers. That's what I call them. This is just good for your shoulder joint and for your back. And I've been doing these forever, and I've rarely had shoulder problems as a result. But I was doing them in my assistance because that's a heavier band. I use a lot lighter band in accessories. And then I was doing, of course, my 3 rounds, 200 meter run. And by the time I was done with the strength variation and assistance, I had done 1 mile of total accumulated running. And for the accessory giant set, I was doing what's called Nordic hamstring curls. Now, I really like doing these because it really targets your hamstring and your glutes, and it kind of hits them a little bit differently. And you're also doing a mini push-up there, which is more of like an explosive thing. So I like to do a lot of explosive work when it comes to push-ups, mainly because it carries over to bench press pretty well. So these are great to do in conjunction with burpees in your workout. And I'm also doing the ab mat static hold. I'm flexing my abs hard and pushing my lower back into the ab mat to work on my bracing for squats and deadlift and anything else that involves bracing. And the pull off static hold at the end to target my obliques during bracing. Woo! That was a fantastic workout, and it was brutal. The unfortunate side about doing heavy deadlifts like that is I'm going to have to take a little bit of a longer break to let my central nervous system get out of its shock that it just experienced. Until next time, have a great evening.